So in these next two examples, we're going to practice writing these statements in symbolic form. These are some of these compound ones, okay, kind of like how the last one was. So it says we're going to analyze the argument. If the communists win the election, then I will leave the country. I am not leaving the country. Therefore, the communists will not win the election. Okay? First, you need to identify what is P and what is Q. P is the communists winning the election. Okay? That's P. What's Q? You leaving the country. That's Q. Okay? If you can figure out what P is and what Q is, then writing the sentence is pretty much like you kind of like just follow the words that are within it. Yes?
Can we prep PQ to be the whole problem?
Well, I'm just doing this to kind of help you because we're writing the sentence in symbols. But I'm just bringing it down here so that way you can see, you know, what's P and what's Q. I'm not going to rewrite it though. No. Save some energy. Okay. So it says, if the communists win the election, then I will leave the country. How do you represent that type of setup? That's that,
Yeah.
What's the word that means that? Implication, okay? So I know I need P implies Q. So right now I have, if the communists win the election, then I will leave the country. Then it follows, I am not leaving the country. How do you represent I am not leaving the country? Not Q. So I need the negation of Q. How do I connect the first sentence with the second sentence? And. Very good. Now, you want to kind of make sure that you're doing the correct order. So the first thing was that the communists will win the election. If the communists win the election, then I will leave the country. So you might want to put parentheses around that first part. Okay? Because that technically happened first. It's just like with order of operations. You want that to be done first. Okay? So then something happened, and I am not leaving the country. So that happens next. Okay? This is therefore the communists will not win the election. How do you represent the communists will not win the election? Negation of P, so not P, but how do you connect all the stuff that already happened, and then you have therefore the communists will not win the election?
So you put the first section in parentheses, then you put an end after it.
Close. I do need to bracket off this first part, so I'm just going to put this bracket, I already use parentheses. We can use parentheses, it doesn't matter. But it's not going to be an and. Therefore, what does therefore mean?
Like then.
It's then. Like then. All this stuff happened. If all this stuff happened,
then use the arrow.
Therefore, the communists didn't win the election. It's another if then embedded. So you need another implication. So, if the communists win, I'm going to do this in different colors, mostly for the video's sake. If the communists win the election, then I will leave the country. I am not leaving the country. Therefore, the communists will not win the election. That okay? All right. We're not actually going to analyze this. There's more practice with the symbols. Let's do the next one. Write the symbols, but let's actually analyze the next statement. Ready? Okay. Don't worry about this first part. Okay? Don't worry about that. This is more of a reminder. We're considering the form only. We're not considering the meaning of each statement, okay? If something is valid, that means it's structurally perfect, okay? Structurally perfect. So we're going to look at example 5. Bring it back down. If the TOK lecture is too long, Kylie gets a headache. Kylie has a headache, therefore the TOK lecture is too long. Okay? I want you guys to try to write this in symbolic form, and then I'm going to check it, and then we'll analyze it. Okay. So, if the TOK lecture is too long, Kylie gets a headache. Kylie has a headache, therefore the TOK lecture is too long. What is the sentence and symbols? Alright.
Bracket, parentheses, P implies Q, close parentheses, and Q, close bracket, implies P.
So, P is representing that the TOK lecture is too long. Q is representing that Kylie gets a headache. So, if and then, very good, even though there's no then, it's still implication. Kylie has a headache. It's not an or situation, it's an and, because it's not like or she gets this headache. No, she does have this headache. So it's like and on top of this potential hypothesis and conclusion, she does have a headache. Therefore, another implication, it is too long. We are going to create the truth table to go along with this, okay? We are going to create the truth table to go along with this statement. So, what am I going to need? I need what? I need a P. I need a Q. What else do I need to analyze this statement that you guys wrote down?
P implies Q.
I need a P implies Q.
And then you need P implies Q and Q. Yes, no? And then all of that implies P.
And then all of that implies P. Okay? So, 5 columns. Since I have a P and a Q, I'm definitely going to need 4 rows underneath it. And I'll let you guys complete this table. Okay. How did we do? Oh my God, where's the time going?
I think you would. I think you would.
What's the last name? It was like Friday. It's only Wednesday.
I wish. Actually, no, I don't wish because the pep rally is Friday and I am not ready for it. All right. So, we know the setup. P, TTFF, Q, TFTF. The implication, what's the first one?
True.
True.
False.
False.
True.
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 Wait.
Okay.
Alright. Let's revise this. Okay.
Now we're going to take the implication column. We're going to take it with the Q column and we're going to connect them with and. So if it's true, true.
True.
False, false.
False.
True, true.
True.
True, false.
False.
False. Because it's an and.
Okay. I don't. So Kylie does not have a headache, and then TOK. Okay, that doesn't make sense because like TOK lecture is too long, then Kylie does not have a headache, so it must be like false because if the TOK lecture is too long, Kylie would have a headache.
You gotta look at it structurally.
Yeah, so
We're connecting it with the and. So remember, if it went TT, then the and is T. TF, false. FT, false. FF.
basically the actual statement doesn't matter. Oh, so the statement doesn't matter anymore.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I had that note. We only looking at the form. Only looking at the form only. Okay?
The only thing that matters is using the statement to figure out which of these symbols. Oh.
Exactly.
Oh.
Now we need to connect this one with P using implication. Don't get confused, okay? True and true is true for implication. False and true, true. True and false, false. False and false. And you see the order I went in? It's important that you go that way. Alright? If you didn't, you would have the wrong thing. Is this a valid statement?
Yeah, I know.
No,
It's neither.
it's invalid.
I thought it was neither. Because I thought invalid was if it's a.
When it asks you to analyze, you gotta determine if it's valid or invalid. If it's a, it'll ask you if it's a contradiction, a tautology, or neither.
Oh, okay, I see.
So
So it's neither a contradiction nor a tautology, which means that it's
So
invalid.
invalid includes both contradiction and neither.
Yes. Yes. It's a contradiction in neither. The only time it's going to be valid is if it's a tautology. Yes. Okay?
So contradiction is the same thing as invalid.
Correct.
As is neither.
And like I said, they're either going to ask you if it's valid or invalid, or they're going to ask you if it's a tautology, a contradiction, or neither. Like, they're not going to mix the two. Okay? So just a couple of things just to make sure we got it down. A contradiction is when it's always false, meaning that whatever we're trying to figure out, that column has all F's, right? Tautology is always true. So whatever column that is, a lot of times the last column will put that, but, you know, all T's. Valid is if whatever we're trying to determine is all T's. Invalid is not always, means that it's not always true. So there's at least one F in that column that we're trying to determine whatever that argument is. Okay, so it could be all F, making that contradiction, it's still invalid. It could be neither, but it's still invalid. Okay? So everybody updating that on their green foldable. So remember those two other flaps, one invalid, one valid. Okay, so let's update that, and then we're going to do one more. Gonna squeeze it in. And it's the bad boy. It is time for the big boy. Okay? It is time for the big boy. We're gonna analyze the argument. So remember, is it valid? If I kiss that frog, it will turn into a handsome prince.
oh god.
If that frog turns into a handsome prince, I will marry him. Therefore, if I kiss that frog, I will marry him. Okay? It's the big boy. We have this an example of a three simple statement compound. Okay? So I'm going to give you a chance to write this down while I go fix the copier. And, yeah. Like I said, it's an example of a three simple statement compound. What's going to represent P? I kiss that frog, and I liked it. Yep, what's Q? It will turn into handsome prince. What's R? I will marry him. Marry him. Okay? So we got this long compound. We're going to determine if it's valid, which means we need the symbolic representation of this. Who thinks they got it?
Wait, how many did you say that we had to have on top? Is it 8?
No, it's 8. It's 8 rows. It's No, I mean not the table. I mean I'm talking about what is the symbolic form for this.
Alright, I don't have it, but I can try to do it as a talk.
Oh, okay, you think you got it?
I think I have it.
All right, what you got?
So parentheses P implies Q and then implies R. Like in parentheses.
Like in one full parenthesis?
No, and like finish the parentheses there, and then implies R.
No, that applies R. No, that applies Q. She has the first sentence. If I kiss the frog, it will turn to a handsome prince.
Oh.
What about the second sentence? If that frog turns to a handsome prince, I will marry him.
It's an arrow,
No.
right?
What do you mean?
Q.
What would it be if then?
Implies R.
Q implies R
And
That's what
then.
we do.
with an and.
Yeah, it's an and.
So I have another set of parentheses with an and.
Plus.
Thank you.
And then it implies, well, bracket.
Right around these things.
Yep.
These are the first two sentences right here.
And that will imply.
Therefore, if I kiss the frog, I will marry him.
That implies R.
No.
No.
It implies an implication.
It implies, that's the therefore.
P R.
R.
P is R.
P
This
implies
is just
R.
transfer of property.
Therefore, if I kiss the frog, I will marry. Therefore, if I kiss the frog, I will marry him. That is your sentence.
Is this not just transfer of property too?
This is transfer property. Old school transfer property. Y'all remember that from geometry?
Yes.
All right. So let's create this table. We probably won't be able to get through it, but I'll at least give you how the normal format for P, Q, and R ones go. Okay. So Here we go.
Wait, hold on.
Okay, so, of course you need P, you need Q, and you need R. The first sentence was
P implies Q, P implies Q.
8. It's 8 by 8. 8 by 8. So we need P implies Q to start. That was, if I kiss the frog, then he will turn into a handsome prince. I need, if he turns to a handsome prince, then I will marry him. I need to connect those two together. Because in order to figure out what the validity is of that entire argument that we had on the previous slide, we need to look at every individual piece. So we need to look at the P implies Q, we need to look at the Q implies R, and then we need to look at the conjunction together between them. We also need to look at P implies R, which was, so if I kiss the frog, I will marry him. And then we need to look at the entire argument all together, which was that long thing.
Keep bringing A.
Yeah, I did.
For the big bodies. Okay? P goes T, 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 F, 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 F.
This is what's gonna be every time.
Yep, it's how it's every time. Q goes T, T, F, F, T, T, F, F. Now these are usually given to you on any paper I've seen when it has the big bodies, they give you the P, Q, and the R. Okay? R goes T, F, T, F, T, F, T, F. All right. And I'm going to stop there. So I want you guys to finish up this table along with your argument homework that I'm about to give you.